It's Dominique, and today I'm going to teach you a lace pattern that is best used on a hat or a sweater, sock, anything circular. So I am making a hat. I've already started it, but I can catch you up really quickly. You can do it on double pointed needles or you can do it on circular. It works either way. So you want to start off with casting on 104 stitches. So once you have your 104 stitches, I find if you're using circular needles, you'll definitely want to use a stitch marker to keep track of where the beginning of the round is, especially once you get into the lace pattern. So after you cast on 104 stitches, proceed with a ribbing of knit 2, purl 2. And you're just going to keep doing that for about 12 rows or 2 fingers, 2.5 fingers width, whatever you prefer. And once you're done doing your ribbing, you're going to knit one whole round. Now while you're knitting your one round, you need to increase 4 times, so that's making a new stitch every 26 stitches, and then you'll be up to 108. And I'm going to show you in a separate video how to do increases. So once you're done that and you're at the beginning of the round, you have 108 stitches, you are ready to start your pattern. So I'm just going to finish up what I'm doing here. You might want to grab a pen and piece of paper to write this down. It is a very easy pattern. It consists of 3 rows. 4 rounds altogether, and depending how you knit will affect how the pattern looks in your finished piece. So this is the beginning of the lace pattern. You're going to knit in the back loop. So instead of knitting like normal, you're going to knit in the back. And then you're going to purl 1. I apologize, the focus isn't the best in this video. And then you're going to knit 3. And then purl. And you're going to repeat that for 3 rounds. So once again, you're knitting in the back loop, you're going to purl, you're going to knit the next 3 stitches, and then you're going to purl again. So altogether that's 6 stitches for this pattern. So knit in the back loop, purl, knit 3 times, and then purl. So I am going to keep going with that, and I'm almost onto round 4 already, but you want to do that for 3 rounds. And when you're working your pattern, it is very, very important that you use a stitch marker. I'm not using one because it's easy to see for me where my round begins with my tail piece, and because I'm using double pointed needles. But I've had previous experience working this pattern on circular needles, and I kept getting lost and screwing up. So strongly recommend the stitch marker. And as well, when you're working this pattern, once you're done your ribbing and your first round of knitting only with the 4 increases, ignore the ribbing as you start your pattern, because if you try and line your pattern up to the ribbing, it won't match, and it's not supposed to. because that can also cause a great deal of confusion as well. Okay, so I just finished my, let me see here. Okay, 1, 2, 3, purl. Alright, I just finished my round, or no, I'm almost done my round 3. And then round 4 involves some yarn overs and some decreasing, but you'll always have the 108 stitches. And this is a simple but very pretty lace. It looks great in thin yarns or worsted weight medium width yarns. I wouldn't recommend knitting with anything fuzzy like mohair because the pattern won't show through as much. If you don't care about the pattern then, and you just want to practice and use fuzzy yarn anyway, it might work for you. But I'm presently using yarn by Drops Garden Studio, Lima, 65% wool, 35% alpaca, and I am using size 4mm needles. And I'll write the pattern at the bottom as well. Okay. Alright, so I just finished my round 3 of knit in the back loop, purl, knit 3 stitches, and purl, and repeat all the way around, 3 rounds. Now I'm on to the 4th round. So this one, you may want to pay attention and write it down as we go. So, I'm going to knit in the back loop. This is round 4. This is what gives the lacy kind of part. You'll see it soon. So knit in the back loop, purl, and then you want to do a yarn over. So the next stitch will involve knitting. So you have to put your yarn from a purl position into a knitting position, and then wrap it around your working needle again. This is the yarn over. Slip 1 stitch as if you're purling, so slip it off, and then knit 2 together, now take the stitch that you had slipped previously from your right-handed needle, so it would be the 2nd stitch in, and carry it over the 1st stitch. This was the knit 2 together. Carry that over, yarn over again, but because the next stitch will be a purl, you put it in the purl position and wrap it around again. So 1 yarn over and then purl. I have to do that again because my yarn got caught. So that is it, and you just repeat this for round 4 all the way around. So back loop, knit in the back loop, purl, yarn over, slip 1 stitch, knit 2 of them together, and this is the decrease I was talking about. Take the slip stitch, carry it over the knitted 2, yarn over, and purl. So you're still working with the same amount of stitches despite the decreases, because the yarn overs cancel out the decrease. So that way you still have 108 all the way around. Now, when you're done this round, depending on how you knit, if you knit continental, meaning your yarn is in your left hand, you can ignore this next bit and just keep going, repeating rounds 1 to 4 until you get the length you want. I'll do a separate video on how to decrease for this hat. But for those of us that knit with the yarn in the right hand, when you're knitting, pretend this is round 1 after doing round 4. When you're going after round 4, you're going to go knit back loop and purl, and this one here would be, if you use your imagination, this would be the yarn over, so it's going to look really big and loopy. If you knit it normally, what will happen is you'll only get one hole on the side of like the vine or the lace. You'll only get the one hole. To get 2 holes, you can see there my fingers moving, to get both holes, what you should do with the first yarn over is knit in the back loop, and then continue round 2 and 3 knitting normally, and you only knit in the back loop on the first yarn over to create that second hole. I hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, please leave me a note down below. I do check my email more frequently now. And good luck with your lace pattern, and I'll be back with the decreasing probably in a couple days or so. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day.